Hello, I am meteorologist Amy Metz, and I am breaking down this very rare extreme forecast from the Storm Prediction Center. So we have a high risk with a tornado watch. I'll zoom in a little more here of 30% tomorrow. There's a lot of different ways that people will speak about this stuff, but I'll try to keep it simple here instead. So wind damages is a high probability and a high probability for hail. So that 30% means that yes, it actually probably will happen within that zone. And then it's not that it won't be everywhere, however. So there's different ways that meteorologists go over this stuff, but this is very, very intense for any kind of a tornado warning. So this is for tomorrow on Wednesday. And then for the day after, we also have another very extreme situation going on as the same storm continues to move east. And I believe that the tornado threat could still be a little bit higher than they're showing right here with the 15%. So it's time for everybody to be on guard, understand what that means. I'll go ahead and break down some of the other forecasting tools before, but know where you have shelters. Maybe you have a family member's house, a church, a community center that has a higher maybe probability of lasting through a tornado. Somewhere with a basement would be best, or a storm shelter underground. And even more importantly, sign up for notifications. So this link is in the description below if you want to find out more information and be storm ready for other types of damaging storm effects as well. But one of the best things you could do is use your phone, get it ready and set up with the right kind of a warning system. A lot of them have the ability to get the government National Weather Service warnings just from signing up under the settings, and also checking your forecast. So you can do that too on a weather app is probably one of the easiest ways if you're not having a TV running all day. I always like to check the app on and off, and I made an Understanding Weather Apps video on my YouTube channel you can check out also. And I just wanted to show this incredible victory. This family in Mississippi, where we have the elevated threat tomorrow. Last year, everything was blown away from their house except for the storm shelter they created. Concrete walls with rebar. So this is the kind of situation that you want if you're going to be right in the path of a tornado. Underground shelter or a very, very well-built, strong shelter like this with rebar. So I wish everybody the best. You can also stay updated on my Facebook page, Weather Woman. That's facebook.com/theworldofweather. And over here I share a lot of radar products when things are happening so people can stay alert there too with different visuals, as well as storm chasers on the ground. So there's some people that were out there tonight. And Kyle Cutton just saw strike after strike after strike of lightning. So I'm going to get into that because this could actually be one of the bigger contributors to possible hazards tomorrow. And there's even more lightning now. And the reason for that is, look at this big old blast. So there's kind of a, looks like a big old ring coming off of the sun. This is called a coronagraph at swpc.noaa.gov. So this is the Space Weather Prediction Center now. And they have cameras out in space that look at the sun. And it blocks out some of the light here. And the sun would actually be right inside this interior white circle. And then what happens is we're able to see the surrounding light a little bit better. And when things get blasted off like this, it is sending magnetically charged gas or a plasma toward Earth. The sun is spinning and the Earth is spinning, and this type of plasma, because it's magnetically charged, it will follow the Parker spiral, and then you can think of Earth being right where you're sitting or right in front of the screen. So in that case, this has a small chance that the majority of this plasma could end up going below, south of Earth and the magnetic field, but I do believe it will interact and play a role in increasing lightning and possibly even bringing aurora especially to Australia. So be on guard for the lightning, especially with these storms. And right here on windy, you can see the lightning. There's just a ton of it. So now with that CME just launching coronal mass ejection, we're going to see even more and more. And some of these were cloud to ground, but a lot of them were intercloud, where it stays up in the sky. So that's better for not being a hazard for people on the ground. But it definitely, some of these will be cloud to ground strikes. So it's something to watch out for on top of tornadoes, on top of hail, and on top of damaging winds. So I did make a video that describes a little better about how to tell if there's rotation based off of what's called base velocity. So check that out, because it's something that can help you on your app. If you're not already familiar with, like, let's say hook echoes and areas that might be more prone to developing a tornado. Some of these areas do look like they could be. And before I get into another map that will allow you to put warnings on top of warnings so you can see alerts easily if you want to use a computer instead of a weather app, College of DuPage has great products that I use for forecasting. So this is satellite imagery. Water vapor is what you're seeing here, and the green is very, very wet, very moist, and yellow is dry air. So what this is saying to me is that we're probably going to be having high precipitation supercells tomorrow based off of some of the other weather data that is available right now. So I'm not one to use forecast models. I've always liked observational analyses, and I like to make my own forecasts. That's just how I noticed I did the best work as a student, and so into my career I chose to do the same thing, unless I'm trying to show future forecasts for people to understand and get an idea. But upper level, high in the sky, kind of where jets fly, is where we have the jet pattern. This is a jet dipping down, and darker region is faster wind. This is about middle level 500 millibar jet. So these right exit regions here and here are where we will see the most severe weather. And that right now is where the leading edge of the cold front with severe storms is moving through Oklahoma right now. Also, this upper level divergence in the dark areas, and the red is air moving away from each other. High in the sky, it means that down below the air wants to move up and fill it in. So that causes convection, and again we're seeing that where those other few storms were that we just saw on the windy app. Vorticity can be a little more difficult to explain, but this is also indicating that there will be some it's because there's not so much, it's so busy here. I can just tell you that, yeah, it's going to be coming in waves. There's going to be storms and then a little bit of dry air in between the next storm ahead of that front. And then anywhere where there's green, there's a lot of moisture. So that's the other ingredient for having severe weather and storms, is that you need the moisture there. So green, green, green. We have tons of moisture, and then this is all going to be pushing east a little bit more and more tomorrow. So Mississippi will just be covered in likely high precipitation supercells, and the areas around that tracking eastward as air from the Gulf of Mexico continues moving up. So these wind barbs with this line being on the bottom side indicates that the wind is blowing up this way. So that's feeding in all of this moisture. Again, feeding in all the green and what is moisture. So this could be a very, very dangerous situation. Somebody asked me just now, how many people do you think will die tomorrow? And I said 0. I'm always hoping for the best, and I've been just completely amazed at what our weather warning systems have turned into. The available knowledge, the data out there, we are able to stay prepared, to stay aware, and to plan ahead. Find the place if you're living here. And I know there are a ton of mobile homes, but this is going to be #1 prime region tomorrow. I mean, all the way through Arkansas, even possibly South Missouri. So with all of these storms coming up off the Gulf, getting extra moisture, I think that there'll be a lot of them originating around here and growing in intensity as they move north. So just keep an eye on what's tracking north toward you. And go ahead and seek shelter somewhere else. Wake up first thing in the morning and find out where you can go if one of these is tracking toward you. And then just know that once this line of storms associated with the cold front passes your area, you're in the clear. You know, there's very little chance that anything on the back side of these will be severe enough to cause deaths or wind damages, but sometimes we can get very strong downdrafts in them still. So it's not out of the question that it could still, on the backside, knock a tree down. But once all of this rain has passed your area, you will be good. So I'm really wishing for the best here tomorrow. And go ahead, check out in the comments to find out where you can learn more about staying prepared here with what was put together there, as well as my my page where I'll keep on sharing and sharing. So this is Weather Woman on Facebook. I hope everybody the best through the severe weather outburst that's going to be going on, and I'll end by just playing this one again. So this is not for Wednesday, but that's Thursday. And again, Wednesday, taking a really close look here. Extremely high chance for tornadoes in this area. So personally, I was thinking 20 to 30. Not just with Wednesday, but adding in Thursday as well for the eastern portion of the United States. And that'll wrap it up for now. So I hope everybody can do the best